Got to give my guy, Brandon Marshall, some props. This is what you said all day yesterday. As a wide receiver, yep, Nick, as a wide receiver, you want to get going early. You want to get the ball early. Just get some reps underneath you, and that breeds confidence. So, in your opinion, looking at the game tonight, what would you say are the keys to the Browns picking up a win over the Bengals?
Yeah, it's no secret. You know, it's not like I'm a genius like Nick Wright and I can predict things a year in advance. It really is a universal thing for prima donna receivers, diva receivers, number one receiver. Whatever you want to say, it's a universal thing. So, yes, the keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns is this. Number one, you heard the man. Get him involved early. If you can get him in the first 15 plays, which are typically scripted, if you can get him 2 or 3 wide receiver screens, this guy is someone that can save you late. He said it. Number 2, the running game. Now, you went into Baltimore and you got your butts whooped. They put up 38, so you had to pass the ball around the field. But at the end of the day, you got 2 running backs that can go for 5 and 6 yards per rush. So when you have Kareem Hunt and you have Nick Chubb, who had a breakout year last year, commit to the run so you can help your struggling quarterback. And the third thing, there's so much talk around Odell. There's so much talk around Baker. Let's not get this thing lost in the shuffle. On third down, you have to go through Jarvis Landry. He is the most efficient pass catcher on your team. He has the most chemistry with the quarterback on your team. Last game, he had 6 targets. 5 receptions, 4 of them went for first down. So when you're 3 for 12 on third down, you have to figure it out, because if you're in the bottom tier of in that category, you won't win the game. And the last thing that the Browns need to do if they want to be victorious tonight, they have to play better defense. The run game was stout. They did a great job of stopping a run offense that was one of the best in the NFL last year. So you have to eliminate the big plays. This secondary, which is a little banged up right now, they have to do a better job of keeping everything in front of them. If you do those 4 things, you have an opportunity to beat the Bengals.
Brandon, I think those are all great points. And as far as your second one about committing to the run, it is noteworthy. Geno Atkins is not going to be playing for the Bengals. Their all-world D tackle. And his backup, Mike Daniels, is not going to be playing either. So they could have an opportunity to really take advantage of a weakened Bengals defensive line. But here is what I love so much about Week 2, in particular in the NFL. We start to get a better actual understanding of what we are seeing. So let me give an example for a couple Week 1 games. So the Cowboys, we killed them all week because they only scored 3 second-half points. They only scored 17 points against the Rams. We think that's an indictment on the Cowboys. There is a possibility that what it's going to turn out is the Rams with a new defensive coordinator, Jalen Ramsey, now with more than a full year in that system, Aaron Donald being Aaron Donald. Maybe the Rams are going to end up being one of the 3 best defenses in football. Week 1, Aaron Rodgers is back. Look at what he did. Well, that's what we think we saw. There's a possibility that we're going to know by midseason, the Vikings have the worst secondary in the entire NFL. Everyone's going to kill them. So we don't really know why we are seeing what we're seeing. We just know what we're seeing. So, Wilds, why I'm so excited for tonight's game is we're going to get a better idea of, was Week 1 more about how awful Cleveland is or how great Baltimore is? We're going to learn about Baltimore tonight just by watching the Browns. If the Browns lay an egg to the Bengals, then it's like, okay, Baltimore played great, but how impressive is it really? If the Browns come out tonight and do what I think they can do, which is score close to 30 points, look sharp, look effective, hold Joe Burrow down, then I think we're going to say, okay, the Ravens are just even better than last year, and you shouldn't overreact and trade Odell and freak out over playing them in Week 1. So that's what I'm looking to see tonight. Was the Week 1 Browns-Ravens game, Wilds, more about how great the Ravens are or how bad the Browns are?
Okay, so what if it goes really bad, though, Nick? Like, I'm ready, and I'm very early on this. You know, I like to be an influencer, Nick. I like to get early on the trends.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And let me know if you're coming with me. I think we got to get our first things first jackets. Jenna, you can come too. I know you're here too. Our first things first hats, those boots with the spikes on them, and we are going to climb the mountain of must win and plant Baker Mayfield's flag at the summit.
Already?
If you lose to the Ravens, they're Super Bowl contenders. But if you lose to the fellow #1 pick in the Battle of Ohio to a rookie on a short week, woo, this might be must win. I'm going up the mountain and planting my Baker Mayfield flag.
But that is an extension of Baker from last year. No, that's not based on week 1. This is a must-win for Baker Mayfield based on what we've seen the last year and a half. I don't know if it's a must-win for the Browns as much as it is a must-play better for Baker Mayfield, Brandon. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a Baker flag. It's got a picture of his face,
guys,
not the Browns.
Baker. I stand corrected. You're right.
Let me try to create some sympathy for Baker a little bit, right? All right. Think about this. In the last 2 years, he had 3 different coaches. He had Hugh Jackson, and we know how that ended. He had Greg Williams to come in as the interim head coach. And then Soup Kitchens, Freddie Kitchen comes in, and he's to blame for that because he stood on the table for this guy. At the quarterback position, and we keep saying this, and Coach Mangini came on the show and he uses 2 words, continuity and chemistry. And at the quarterback position, it is key for their success, for their overall career, that they have a chemistry and a great relationship between the play caller, the head coach, and the organization, because they're just different than other players. This is like the CEO on the field. These guys lead up. These guys need to learn how to lead down. So I want to give this a little bit more time because, this is a kid who's in a new offense. No off-season, no preseason games. It's going to take time. And I know there's a lot of people that don't want to hear it. They're like, no, you have to win now. We get it. $1 billion business, $1 million athletes. But you have to give this kid and this offense some time to really gel together and figure out how they work together with this identity.
Brandon, I think that's smart, and I think that's correct in almost, from 30,000 feet. But I think the reality on the ground is Kevin Wildes is right. Because it is this franchise, because we also know Baker does not have the most even-keeled temperament to where he does see everything. He does read everything, as does Odell. And it wouldn't just be 0-2. I think Wildes' point that it would be 0-2 with a loss to the Bengals, to the other team in Ohio, to another #1 overall pick, a team that was the worst team in football, it would feel worse than a typical 0-2, and I feel like things could get away from them. With all that said, Jenna, they kill him tonight, and it's like the Ravens game never happened, because I do think this is still a relatively emotionally somewhat immature group of guys. So I don't know if it's a must-win in the standings, Jenna, but from a mindset perspective, it very well might be.
And if they do win tonight, then we're going to need 3 games to see how the teams usually. Go ahead, Brandon. Finish your thought.
30,000 feet view, that's all good. But on the ground, you can't make rash decisions, and you can't make decisions in a vacuum. Sure. You can't win championships that way. You have a new coach. This coach is getting familiar with who he has. So you have to give it time. But I get it. I understand the pressure on professional athletes and professional organizations.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.